Hey, fun fact about this whole video. I was gonna make a video like this, quite a bit ago, and then the moment I felt like sitting down and recording all the audio and talking about it, then I found out apparently this is Michael Afton, which threw off, like, half my predictions. So I guess that's kind of funny.
Need to hang up that computer call.
Like I just said, I was planning on doing a video like this, but honestly, so much got thrown off. Because I really did not think this guy was Michael Afton. In fact, I actually had a hunch his name was going to be Dave, a reference to the graphic novels. Obviously, Dave in the graphic novels is William Afton's alter ego, but I thought it was going to be like a random callback because it's, oh, the skinny guy, white guy there. But I was wrong. In fact, I just straight up thought this guy had no connections. I actually thought it was more likely to be Jeremy than Michael Afton. Because I thought, well, Mike Smith was just an explicit parallel to Michael Afton. Which, by the way, I still think he is. Alright? I still think this is the main parallel of the character. Even though this character is still going to be the one called Michael Afton. But yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you could see me in a lot of Fnaf circles completely saying that, oh, this is not Michael Afton and everyone's wrong. I guess I was wrong, but I do want to elaborate when I said this whole point that I actually still think Mike Smith is a Michael Afton parallel. I think in a weird way that there's like 3 different Michael parallels in this movie timeline. Mike Smith, Michael Afton, which I will be calling Eyebrow Mike for the rest of the video so we don't mistake when I'm talking. Whenever I say Michael Afton, I'm specifically talking about the game universe. And when I say Eyebrow Mike, I'm specifically talking about this guy. And Vanessa. A lot of all 3 of these can be read back to traits that Michael in the games very much has. It's kind of like 3 different takes on the character put in one timeline, alright? That's what I'm thinking. I've been seeing a lot of people, not everyone, like I said, this is mostly dumb Twitter stuff, but I've been seeing a lot of people think Eyebrow Mike's gonna replace Mike Smith's role as the main character, and I just blatantly don't think that's true. Mike Smith is clearly gonna be the protagonist throughout these 3 movies, at least. When I first heard that this guy, Eyebrow Mike, was gonna be named Michael Afton, I was sitting there in awe, like a bit shocked in all ways, like, man, this is really it? Fuck, I was wrong about a good chunk of what I was thinking the story was gonna be, and I have to sit there and accept that. Unfortunately, I think Defiance Phrase fandom has a huge problem of when we get evidence that contradicts a point, we just deny it. And I'm gonna sit there and be the bigger person, acknowledge, as much as I was sitting there being like diehard, like, this guy's not Michael Afton, it won't be Michael Afton, this is gonna be something that I can see people agreeing or disagreeing with me. And if you do, that's fine. If you disagree or not, that's whatever. I'm just throwing ideas that I predict, and a lot of this is gonna be wrong, and then boom, we're gonna see when the movie comes out in less than a month. But I think Eyebrow Mike, is going to not be actually working with William like a lot of people think. I think we kind of had that idea, the sister location idea of Michael working with William, not necessarily working, but listening to what William said and being William's little puppet with Vanessa, like that kind of plot. I think we're gonna have Michael working with the puppet very much clearly on this, and maybe, like, I don't know, doing some weird sacrifice shit with it. I definitely think that's what they're going for with it, more than Michael working for William. I think this character is gonna be like an antagonist, not necessarily the full-on bad guy of this whole story at all. Because obviously William's gonna forever always be the actual bad guy, but I mean, I don't think this person's gonna be exactly the most pure evil piece of shit. I wouldn't be shocked if they do some kind of a redemption for being misguided sin or whatever. Probably the same way that Puppa might eventually have. I could definitely see that happening. Also, real quick, in case you want to know my opinion on the debate if Michael Smith and Michael Afton are different characters from the game, I don't think they are. And I could see some people absolutely using the 2 different Mikes in the movie universe as evidence that they are. And I guess that's kind of fair in some ways, but I definitely disagree. Especially because I view this as a split of the same character in the movie timeline. So he's definitely an Afton in this. Vanessa probably knows who he is. I could see some conflict still going on with the fact that Vanessa's probably still not being the most truthful with Mike and Abby with the whole situation. Like, there's probably more that she just hasn't told them that's going to be developed definitely for sure with this. I could see definitely something being built off like that. Now, enough with the Michael stuff. Here's one I'm dead confident on, okay? From the trailer, we've already figured out that the FNAF 2 location is the original Freddy's. Not the original Fredbears, because I'm gonna get the Fredbears later in this video, okay? But this is the original Freddy's. The toys exist and they're cool. They look fucking awesome. But we also see the Wizards, which also look cool as shit. But I think the Wizards are the very, very, very first animatronic models of the Freddy Fazbear gang. So that, yes, this does mean that the Unwizards are canon to the movie timeline. And obviously the toys would be like something that got replaced as like the new upgraded designs, which isn't the most far-fetched thing ever. If you look at Chuck E. Cheese's history, the animatronic designs got changed surprisingly, like not that far in different lifespans of Chuck E. Cheese. So like this could have been like the designs they had for a few years, and then they moved to the toys, and then Charlie got murdered. And the thing about them being possessed, I actually don't think any of the animatronics we've seen here are possessed. This is going to be a little bit of a bold one here. I do not think the Wizards, definitely not the toys, but I do not, the toys I'm like 100% sure are not possessed. And I'm 99% sure that the Wizards are not possessed. I think they're both just robots in this timeline, completely. They are also definitely not the same robots that we see from the Fnaf 1 movie, because there's no fucking way that these are the same ones in the context that's been given in the movie. So I guess they moved to a completely different location, got completely different like modeling. Yeah, there's just no fucking way it's the same one. I'm sorry, guys. I know some people have given the idea that the souls went over to like those animatronics and that's why they're being possessed, but I don't think that. I don't think there's enough evidence showing that's what it is. Obviously, the movie's not out, so there's, you know, we might see stuff like that. But I think the way the Wizards have been shown off, they seem to be really robotic, like, in a huge way. But I think the way the Wizards have been shown off has been really robotic. And here's a weird thing. The mask seems to work on them. And I would argue that this makes sense in the movie context, that they are robots exclusively. Like, this is a mechanic that would work with that. Sure, this did work in Fnaf 2 with the Wizards where they were obviously possessed, but I feel like for a general audience sense, they would probably think this, like, they would probably rework it to make it just robots, because why would the kids, like, they clearly have they're clearly a lot more self-aware in the movie universe than they were in the game universe. I always thought the idea of it fooling the Wizards was always kind of goofy because they're the possessed ones, so they would recognize it like that. But that's like a long story. I think the mask thing makes them feel more robotic in exclusively the movie universe, because we gotta remember, like, no one would think shit about this at all with the game things, but I do not think they're possessed. I do not think another 5 set of dead kids happened. I do not believe it could be another set of 5 dead kids, because there's been no confirmation anywhere in the trailer, and for what it seems like, after Charlie got killed, well, it seems like the place just closed. So I don't think there's another 5 dead kids. I also think the puppet is probably controlling both sets, if not just one, and William's gonna eventually do some bullshit. There's actually one frame where Toy Freddy specifically has red eyes, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is supposed to be William controlling them instead of the puppet, or he just decides to have red eyes at this point, because no other scene he has red eyes. They're very much clearly just seem to be this yellowish tint, but this one scene he does. So maybe it's a sign of William controlling him, or it's just a visual design change. It could just be whatever, like I said. But yes, I do think the Wizards are just robots, and I think they are the very first models of the Freddy Fazbear gang. And I do believe that the regular Fnaf 1 cast may have nothing to do with the Wizards completely. Now, saying where the Fnaf 1 cast will do in this movie, I don't fucking know, genuinely, on that one. There's been no scene of them at all, or any idea if they're relevant at all to this movie, so that's a genuine, like, I don't know. A very important question is, why did William Afton kill Garrett? I do not believe, no matter what anyone tells me, that William just felt like killing that kid. I do not believe William was just, for some reason, out on a little trip and went, fuck that one kid in particular, and took him and killed him. I refuse to believe that. There was something personal. There's no way he would know Mike Smith's name if there wasn't something about it. I was open to the idea that Michael Smith might be an Afton in the movie timeline, but after this idea that this is Michael Afton, oh yeah, he's definitely not an Afton in this universe. I do believe that the Smith family has some connection to William, for sure. And I have a half version of the old theory I used to have of Michael being an Afton in this universe. We have 2 characters that can be connected to William, Mike's mom or Mike's dad. Mike's dad is still alive, so they can easily bring him back, but I personally like the idea that it might be Mike's mom. She's dead, and there could be a lot more mystery behind it. And I also believe whatever they would do if Mike's dad would just feel like a redo of Henry, which he does exist in this timeline. So I think that would be kind of like just too much like just what they're doing with Henry. But Mike's mom could be a very interesting direction. I believe, personally, that William Afton and Mike's mom had a thing. I don't think they got necessarily married, and I do not think that William's kid is Michael Schmidt. Let me make that clear, Schmidt. I do not believe that Mike is an Afton, but I believe Mike's mom might have had something to do with William, and William did something to spite her. Something like killing her son, Garrett. I don't know, there's not like really necessarily any evidence to this theory. It's just a huge hunch I have. And if you guys have any ideas behind why William killed Garrett, then please let me know, because it's honestly one of the most interesting things here. In general, Garrett's death is going to be a very important event. I don't think it's just the fact that, oh, William killed Mike's brother, and Mike's sad, and Mike gets over it. It's not a problem. Garrett is gonna come back, and I genuinely think his death is gonna be the overarching mystery of this whole franchise. Why did William kill him, and where did he go? Answers that I do not think will be answered in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but will be answered in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This is the one that I'm gonna sound a little bit crazy, but I think I'm right. I think I'm right on the mark. I'm gonna watch the movie, I'm gonna be completely wrong, but I think I'm right now. So the third movie is gonna be Fazbear Frights. I think most of us think that, but you know who's gonna be running Fazbear Frights? It's gonna be Henry. It's gonna be a mixture between Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Sim. Henry's gonna be doing this as a cover-up to like call them all together in one place. Like, I'm calling it, by the way, you know, like how we had the "Come Find Me" like thing at the end of the Fnaf 1 movie credits. We're gonna have out of nowhere, we're gonna hear Henry go,
"It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough, the loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
But Fazbear Frights, we already have a theory that it might be what it was in the game, but I think Fazbear Frights is almost definitely going to be Fredbear's Family Diner in the movie universe. There's a good possibility that it is in the game universe, but I don't want to get in that whole debate. I think it's guaranteed it's going to be in the movie universe. I think we're going to get more lore details behind Fredbear's, because I think, you know, for like general audiences, I think there should be a reason why the fuck is there a yellow rabbit. And I think there's going to be technically 2 Golden Freddys, because I do not believe the Golden Freddy that we've already seen is a Springlock suit. He just doesn't match the vibe or anything. I think that this Golden Freddy is a old Fredbear animatronic. There's going to be a second suit that is the Fredbear Springlock suit. So instead of doing the 2 souls in Golden Freddy, we're just going to have 2 Golden Freddys in the movie timeline. One is just going to be a normal animatronic, while the other one is going to be a Springlock suit. And you may be asking, Kat, who the fuck's going to be in the Springlock suit? It's Garrett. That's where Garrett's going to lie. One, it gives an animatronic that Garrett can be possessed in, and also gives a direct parallel to the Crying Child, who I very much strongly believe the Crying Child and Garrett like are meant to be like the same character in the movie universe, at least. If not the same character, extreme strong parallels. I also think the Springlock suit for Fredbear is going to either be a completely new and original design that like more resembles how Springlock suits have been depicted, or it's gonna be Withered Golden Freddy. That's my 2 beliefs. But yeah, that's my more crazy theory. Now here's to some also not as much evidence, but stuff I do believe is gonna eventually happen in this timeline. I do think the Vandals are coming back, specifically Max, because I don't know, her being in the Shadow Freddy suit feels important, and I also just think general how possession works, it would be cool if they came back. I don't know, I just think it'd be neat. Especially because Max seemed to very much be into Mike a lot in the first movie. I feel like they were setting up a lot more of her, and if she just dies, then I guess it's not like the most like bad writing thing ever, but I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity there. The toys are all definitely going to get destroyed. In fact, I actually believe they're all going to get broken, and they're all going to be in a box at Fazbear Frights. Could be a really awesome callback. But yeah, that's just some of the ideas I had. Sorry if this video is not the most super well edited thing. I just really wanted to talk about this and get my point of view and my predictions out there. So if any of them become right, I can feel fucking awesome and have evidence that I predicted all this. But at the end of the day, if you disagree or agree, please let me know. Let me know your ideas. Let me know your theories. I love talking about the stupid franchise so much. Whether it be general discussions, arguments, or anything, I love talking about it. I'm very excited to see what our Finance Phrase 2 is, and I will definitely be seeing it. And I will probably be doing a review, so if you guys want to hear my opinion, please like, comment, and subscribe, and all that other bullshit. Until next time, have a great day, everyone.
The cops don't come out till night, and I'll get through this. I'll vomit up the dope sickness. The alcohol poisoning will pass eventually, and I'll survive again, unfortunately. When I dream of the future, I see